gentlemen, welcome to The List. On today's show, we're talking about one of the, if not the most consequential episodes in the history of Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire lore. Wait. First, let me just say, spoiler alert, people. Spoiler alert. We got spoiler alert coming through. We're talking about everything. Ladies and gentlemen, again, spoiler alert. Folks, Arya kills the Night King. She kills the Night King, guys. I'm still hyped up for that incredible episode this past Sunday. I don't know if you can tell. Thrilled to be talking about it here with you as we get through Season 1, Episode 4 of The List, a recap and review of The Long Night. And boy, was it a long night. The longest episode in Game of Thrones history. What the hell? First, we are going to start. We'll start by kind of going blow by blow. And this is kind of the toughest thing to do because it was all one scene, a lot of craziness, a lot of crazy action that happened back and forth. So yeah, let's do it. Let's refresh first on what's actually happened in this episode, A Long Night. And ladies and gentlemen, let me just say, this is one to rewatch for sure. What do we say to the God of Death, folks? Not today. Yeah, Game of Thrones kind of abandoned itself 5 minutes into the episode, and it really was the best way possible. It all started first with the scared Sam. We saw scared Sam and scared Tyrion. Everyone was just kind of getting ready for the battle. Everyone getting very antsy. We got the Unsullied, the Dothraki, and then everything's building up. We get to this tense moment in the battle, and then there's one rider from the flames. Who is this? Is this the Night King? Is it just... What? It's Melisandre. Oh my god, Melisandre here. What is she doing? She said she would come back to die in this country, if you remember. And spoiler alert, she does end up dying by the end of the episode. But not yet. Not today. A little bit later today is what Melisandre says to the God of Death. She comes in and lights every single Dothraki's sword with flame to kill the White Walkers, kind of pushing past the Dothraki's inherent mistrust of witches, magical people, and that really was probably the most exciting moment. Like, I remember first watching that just a few days ago, and being like, oh my god, they're going to kill it. This is going to be amazing. The Dothraki, they mowed through the Lannister army. By the way, Lannister army not looking too good after what the White Walkers did to the Dothrakis kind of comparatively. But there is quite an interesting... there's quite an interesting dynamic coming out because the Dothraki charge... and they are eliminated within minutes. Each light goes out little by little. You see, look on Jaime's face, look on Bran's face. Just absolute terror. The Dothraki army is obliterated within minutes, and Ed is killed just barely after saving Sam. Rest in peace to Ed. That one definitely hurt. Shout out to Ed for a life well lived. The man of the watch all the way through. Really kind of picked up the reins after Jon left, obviously after he was resurrected. Yeah, so the living retreat into the castle while Melisandre casts her magic once again to ignite a protective fire trench surrounding Winterfell's to delay the advancing horde. So Melisandre kind of looking very good in this one. Her magic actually being put to good use when Daenerys and Jon flying above and ahead in their dragons. They can't quite see through the storm that obviously the White Walkers brought. They can't see the signals made by Sir Davos to light up the trench protecting the castle. It's protected by a bunch of Unsullied. The Red Woman, Melisandre, comes through and she actually lights the trench. Takes her a couple drives, but she gets the job done. Good for her. This should be theme of today's episode. Getting the job done is what they did. It was messy, but a win is a win is a win, folks. Like, that's what I say. If I was the coach of the living at the press conference, I'd say, let's be like, just a press conference mic here. I didn't quite like our performance. It was a little uncomfortable. I didn't quite think I'm gonna be honest, it looked a little tough there. Gotta be honest, folks. But we did do a pretty good job. We got the job done, and I'm Coach Jon Snow of the Living, and here we go. As they say, on to Cersei, and we gotta claim the throne for Daenerys. That is, it's our priority now. We got the job done. Win is a win is a win. Yeah, that's the key point. Yeah, and they really did. They got the job done. They did what they had to do. And so, yeah, give credit to them for that. But, boy, it looked tough at the end. It looked very iffy at the end with the piano music starting to play, Theon dying, the Night King and all his long-haired, lieutenant coming in. It did not look good. The dead soldiers breach the fire trench and attack Winterfell, scaling its walls. They pretty much form a human bridge over the fire. They scale its walls. Defenders are swiftly overwhelmed and scattered, with Lyanna Mormont and Beric dying in the battle. Melisandre helps Arya realize her destiny to deny the god of death his day, with one of the most chilling, most exciting moments of the scene that had everybody freaking the heck out, ladies and gentlemen. Arya kind of trying to recoup in the castle, and finally she meets Beric, dies literally to save her, and she actually gets the job done. So here is that moment. That's the moment in the hall. Beric dying, Melisandre reminding her what she has to do. One of the most foreshadowy, cool moments of the episode, in my opinion. Hear the White Walkers in the distance.
Now that purpose has been served.
Melisandre reminding Arya that Beric's purpose,
I know you.
the reason why the Lord of Light brought him back so many times, was to save her. That purpose has been served. Pretty cool stuff.
You said we'd meet again.
And here we are. At the end of the world.
You said I'd shut many eyes forever. You were right about that too.
Brown eyes.
Walder
Green
Frey,
eyes.
Meryn Trant,
And blue eyes.
later to come. Whites are, at this point, just barreling down the door.
What do we say to the god of death?
Not today.
Absolute chills. One of the best moments of the show, in my opinion. One of my personal favorites. That is for sure. We got that. And then as things go on, Melisandre helps Arya. Jon knocks the Night King off Viserion in a kind of Viserion Undead Viserion versus Jon's dragon now, Rhaegal. They fight it out in the skies. The Night King comes tumbling down with that same kind of monotone look on his face. Lands obviously perfectly fine. Then Daenerys confronts him with Drogon to burn him, but no effect is had. He's got the closest thing I've ever seen him have to a smile on his face. The Night King then is charged by Jon, but then he does that motion. We saw him do it in Hardhome. He has raised the dead, and they are now back to kind of spoil things here. The Night King raises his slain Winterfell defenders as his fighters, including the entombed Stark ancestors inside the crypt where the sheltering civilians are attacked. So we got Tyrion, we got Sansa in there, we got Varys in there. They pretty much all managed to escape it somehow, and we don't get, kind of unfortunately, it would have been perfect for Game of Thrones. I really don't like that they didn't do that. I don't think get any Ned Stark, we didn't get any Lyanna, didn't we get any Rhaegal, what am I saying? Rhaegar would not be buried in there. But we didn't get any kind of Bran the Builder is buried in there, right? Like the first ever Stark. Like these people could have all come out and been terrorizing them. But I don't know. I mean, they're all bones. At least Stark is at this point. Doesn't even have a head. Ned does at this point. So finally, after Daenerys is pulled from Drogon by swarming dead soldiers, Jorah dies defending her so bravely. The Night King arrives at the Godswood for Bran and kills Theon after he bravely protected Bran. So yeah, Theon here, huge, getting his moment of redemption. Bran saying, "You're a good man. Thank you." Like, that's pretty much everything he's ever wanted to hear from a Stark, from Theon, from Bran, who, by the way, who he has a very close relationship with. Like, that is so impactful for him. And then, of course, here's the moment. Here's the big moment that we all been talking about. We're playing for you. Jon fighting off the fire of undead Viserion, and Theon lying dead in the Gods Wood. The Night King standing over him after pretty much getting all he wanted in his life, which was some form of redemption from the Starks. Huge deal there for him. Night King kind of saunters over, literally going, by the way, as slow as possible. If I were in the Night King's ear, I'd be like, dude, just do it. Come on, you have your chance to create a long night. Jorah is stabbed, defending Dany, does whatever he can. Daenerys, dragonless. Jorah steps in, slays all her monsters, doing what he could. Lord Friendzone dies doing what he does best, protecting his queen. Shame we never get to see her rule. And the Night King slowly advancing. This is really a moment where I thought, like, no, like, all hope is lost. I don't even know what they're going to be able to do. Like, it just seems like so hard for them to possibly recover from them. Music's building, of course. And then Bran stares at the tree. Jon pretty much not really doing anything. Like, he can't really do anything. And as things kind of go, there was really seemed to be no hope. Like, I didn't know what could happen. I didn't know how they would get out of this. I didn't know what Bran would do, a trick he would pull. And then, I mean, as things built, so the Night King kind of reach for his sword, and then one shot at the long-haired lieutenant. Arya comes in. Night King has her in chokehold. The knife drops. Arya picks it up with her other hand through the gun, and those blue eyes are forever shut. That pretty much sums up the battle action of everything. And yeah, Arya leaps into the Night King, catches her by the throat, stabs him with the Valyrian steel dagger. The Night King and his White Walkers disintegrate. Viserion and the army that fall. With her purpose served, Melisandre walks away from Winterfell, collapsing and dying from her very advanced age. Takes off her necklace that kind of stops her aging. We saw her do it back in Season 5, looking into the mirror. And yeah, her Lord of Light power is over. Rest in peace to Melisandre. Rest in peace to Theon. Rest in peace to Ed. Rest in peace to Jorah, of course. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Rhaegal, Jon's dragon, and Ghost, they're still alive. They're seen in trailer for episode 4, the teaser for episode 4. So that is very good. But there's so much to talk about here. So much to break down. Did we like the episode? Personally, I mean, it's a hard thing to manage, right? Because there's two things you have to solve. And this is kind of what I anticipated coming into this episode. I wanted to really see that I really wanted to see kind of a Cersei get hers, right? But I didn't know how they were going to do that. Because, I mean, you feel like it would make the most sense if you had to do it the right way. They kind of boxed themselves in a corner by having the wall break so soon. Around the wall, the dead break through the wall so soon to march on Winterfell, because there was only so long they could deny it. Like, I think it would make sense to kill Cersei. And I mean, there has been a lot of criticism from the Game of Thrones kind of nerds that they thought, the Night King, it's been the biggest threat. It's been the biggest threat in the show, and they wanted to see it go out with. They want to see more of a kind of fight put up from the Night King. Like, literally, though, I don't know how else they could have done it. Like, based on the situation they were, they set themselves up. Like, the only way they really could have drawn it out anymore was with the Night King the Night King kind of just going in and being like, after Cersei's already dead, the Night King comes out. It's a long battle, withdrawing. Like, I don't see, it's the longest episode ever. Literally, like, everyone's pretty much dead. Although I do think probably they should have killed one other person, like